think the language is powerful. I mean, I would describe myself as a survivor, and there's lots of people who, who don't survive it. That's how I would describe myself, and I'm proud of that. It was over 10 years ago now. I wasn't in a very good place at the time when I met her, and I would describe it as a vulture circling her prey. Coercive control wasn't really talked about much, but it's talked about a lot more now, and I recognise that's what was happening. My appearance wasn't good enough for her, so although when I'd met her I had quite an androgynous look, throughout the relationship that look very much disappeared. I was constantly sort of battered with I wasn't glamorous enough. She wanted me to look like famous celebrities that she liked, but it kind of happened very gradually. Well, if I wear a dress, she'll be happy and she won't abuse me anymore. Or if I have my nails done, she won't abuse. So it's kind of those gradual things. And of course, with any abusive relationship, it's never enough, because it's not about those things. People think, well, if you don't want to wear a dress, just don't wear a dress. But it's not that simple.
Does it still feel like you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because it's difficult to try and explain to people who don't understand about domestic abuse, the emotional abuse. That's the big thing, is attitudes towards it have got to change. And also, understanding the sort of, that it's not just hitting people. So, if somebody comes to you and says they're being emotionally abused or financially abused, just because they don't come to you with a black eye, it doesn't mean that it's not happening. So it's understanding all those sorts of things that are behind what we think is domestic abuse. So I thought, well, when she hits me, I'll have something physical, and I can go and I can say, well, I left because she hit me. I went to the police on an occasion. That was the night she'd hit me, so I was cut and bruised and bleeding, and I was getting abusive text messages off her, which you could see, and the police said to me that I should know better because of my job. I worked with women who were victims of domestic abuse as a support worker. And at that point I was ready to make a statement, and the police officer said that, and immediately I shut down. I mean, with it being, I think, being a same-sex relationship as well, so she would play on that, and she would say things like, it's just two girls fighting. So it was, again, that manipulation, that control, and that, that mental abuse of, like, no one will believe you.
That extra layer of stigma and shame and coercive control is really involved in there.
Yeah, I think certainly the coercive control is like not for me, because I was out anyway. But that coercive control of threatening to out people who aren't out. I think that happens a lot with same-sex male couples and transgender couples. Is sort of threatening to out people is a big thing. I paid for counselling privately, for just somebody impartial, to sort of talk through what had happened. And my biggest thing was my identity. I couldn't process that at all. After about the 4th session, she said something sort of which was really poignant to me, which was, you can wake up one morning now and you can wear a dress, or you can wake up and wear trousers, you can grow your hair, you can cut your hair, nobody's telling you what you can and can't do anymore, your life is yours. And that was just like somebody had just lifted a weight off my shoulders. I almost skipped out of the session, got in my car, David Bowie was on, Rebel Rebel, so I had that sort of full blast, and that was the turning point, really, of like, my God, it is my life, I can do what I want. So I went home and I put all the dresses and all the skirts and all the heels in the bin. It was euphoria, finally throwing that old life, all that control away. It was a euphoric feeling. So I've always played sport, and I've always kind of admired sort of women with muscle. I'd never had the dedication to sort of do it myself, and obviously when I was in a relationship I wouldn't have been allowed to do it. So what it became was me building my defence and my wall. if I have this muscle and I look strong and powerful, then nobody will do that to me again. And then somebody said to me, why don't you try a powerlifting competition? And I didn't know what that was, so I trained for that and I tried that, and then I got into Strongwoman somehow. The stronger I got, the more confident I got in the gym, the stronger and more confident I got, you know, in myself. Yeah, so my wife's a competitive strongwoman as well. We motivate each other and we push each other.
Come on, Sam! Come on, baby! Come on!
I wish I'd known there was a life waiting for me on the other side. It won't be easy, you know, it'll be up and down, but there is a whole life waiting for you on the other side. You know, it's been 6 years since I left the relationship. It will always be part of me, and I will always sort of carry, you know, the emotional scars of that around with me. But it's how, I think it's how I use those, you know, how I use those emotional scars. You know, do I use them for positive and for change? And that's hopefully what I'm doing and what I'll continue to do.